What is up, my dashing dudes and darling dames? I am the Hans TV, and welcome back to the subreddit that just brings along enticing anger. It's r/EntitledParents. First post for today comes from DogeB269. Entitled Mother Child-Proofs a Private Mountain Bike Trail. So this happened a while ago in a small town in the middle of nowhere. It's a community-built network of mountain bike trails that the community helps maintain and build more trails to ride on for our enjoyment. The trail started in my cousin's backyard and before. He was the only one involved, so the trails were very small, but soon, he got many of his neighbors involved to help maintain and build more trails, and it became a decent-sized network of trails. Since it is his private property, he requests people to ask before they go on his trails, and he lets most people in. So, one day, we were wanting to ride on a downhill trail with many cool features. Things like jumps, logs to hop over, homemade skinny bridge out of wood planks, drops, and much more. This particular day, there was a sign planted into the ground on the entrance of the trail saying, "Reserved for Karen and her family." At first, we thought this was very entitled and rude, just barging into his property and blocking it off from the owners, but we saw them with shovels and wheelbarrows and realized that they were helping us maintain the trail. Fair enough. It could use some maintenance, so it was kind of them to be helping us without being asked. Little did we know, this was the complete opposite. Let's introduce our cast. The entitled mom is EM, entitled kid is EK, C is for cousin, and OP is me. So, we spent the next few hours riding the other trails and finally decided that we should give them some beers for helping us out. So we returned to my cousin's house and grabbed some from the fridge and head back up to go past her sign. We start to go down, but she runs up to us and starts yelling, "Hey, why are you going past that sign? It's clearly reserved for me and my angel." "Oh, we just wanted to give you some beers for helping us maintain the trail." It's reserved for me. Get out." I own this. You are on my private property." "No, this is public. My angel's friends all come here every day." Now, this could be true. My cousin has allowed many school children to ride on his trails after school, but this is my private property. I do let many people ride my trails as long as they help out sometimes, and I certainly don't remember inviting you. Please leave."
"Well, I did help you with your trails. Look, I child-proofed them."
She points to the trail and we suddenly realize what she has done. She had flattened out jumps, removed logs, removed the skinny bridge along with everything else that makes a mountain bike trail fun. It's just a slight downhill path. Not to mention how she cut down several trees, making it impossible to get hurt. The entitled kid was also there, riding down the lame hill with a regular Walmart bike and going back up it with stairs made by breaking the skinny bridge. An entire summer's worth of work turned into an idiot-friendly bike hill with nothing special. "Excuse me, what the hell have you done?"
"Don't be yelling at me. You were the one who built a hazardous merry-go-round."
I have no idea what she was saying. "Yeah, that's the whole point of mountain biking, to do fun things like this. But you, without my permission, went on my property and broke things. What is wrong with you?"
"I am making it safe for you."
"Okay, well, I'm gonna call the cops." At this point, she realized how dumb she was and decided to back off, never to be seen again. A part of me wanted this to escalate for a better story to tell, but we never ended up calling the cops. It ended up taking several days to get it back to its original-ish form, but it will never be as fun. OP, you should have called the cops, got her on trespassing on private property without permission, destruction of property, and for cutting down trees that were not hers nor sanctioned by her to cut down. There's actually a whole subreddit called r/tree law as to why that is a very bad thing. You could have gotten her in jail or just gotten her removed from the property forever. Our next post comes from NannyLynn62. "You owe me $1,200. When I was 17, I had purchased 10 ounces of silver from my high school art teacher. I believe I paid just under $20 for it. I had shown this to my mom when I came home from school. However, that night my heavy-handed father once again got drunk and beat me up for the last time. He said that me being anti-war was un-American and I needed beating. I left home that night. I took my clothes, a few keepsakes, some books, and also the silver. I left quite a few belongings behind in a closet in my room. Belongings that my parents refused to let me retrieve in later years. I got most of it back when they died, but things like the first Barbie in its original box and a Chatty Cathy doll were gone. But I digress. This was back in 1967. By 1980, I had been married for 5 years. My sister had come by to visit, and she told me that she had just been to see our mom and dad. She also told me that they were frantically tearing through the closet in my old bedroom and wouldn't tell her why. I just shrugged at this because our parents were odd, to say the least. About 10 minutes after she told me this, my mom called me. She didn't even say hi when I answered the phone. She just frantically asked me where I'd put that silver I'd purchased. It took me a while to remember just what silver she was talking about. When I finally remembered, I told her that I had made all of it into jewelry over a decade before. This totally pissed her off. She screamed at me to stop lying. She said that they had been looking for that silver all day. I was still puzzled, so I asked her why. This is when she told me that the silver price was nearly $50 an ounce at that moment, and she knew that I had several ounces of it and I needed to tell her where it was right now. I again told her that it was all gone. I had made rings and pendants with it, had given them away to my friends and even sold some. She then freaked out. All 25 ounces of it? It was 10 ounces and that was 13 years ago, I said. She really came unglued. She said that her and my dad were counting on that $1,200 because my younger brother needed it for his kids, that I was being selfish. Then she decided that I owed her $1,200 because I didn't leave the silver at her house as I should have done. I reminded her that it wasn't 25 ounces, it was only 10, that I had purchased with my own money. So it had been my property and I owed her, my dad, and my brat-butted youngest brother nothing at all. This angered her further. She told me that I will be hearing from their lawyer and then she slammed the phone down. She would have hated cell phones because you can't slam them. I never did hear from her lawyer, at least not at that time. In fact, I never heard another word about that stupid silver. The price went back down just a day or so later. It had been a weird fluke that had made it soar in price like that anyway. I mean, you can't just go get instant market value for metals like that, can you? I wouldn't think a precious metal broker would want to risk their money on a fluke. I'm sure that her dread lawyer told them this as well, as telling her she had no case, if she even talked to him at all. I'll never understand parents who are like, whatever you buy with your own money as long as you're under my roof is mine. You buy your cell phone and you pay the bill, give it to me whenever I ask for it. Like, no, I paid for it. My name is on the contract. You can't take it from me because then it would be theft. Our next post comes from Lucy Wyatt 101. I'll beat him with a stick. Around a year and a half ago, I was at a unofficial dog park. It's basically a wedding venue, but on weekdays, people are allowed to bring their dogs and let them play off leash. No fence. It's been like this for years. There's a playground across the street, and overall, it's a really nice big patch of land. Anyway, I'm sitting there with my dog Nova and this other woman, we'll call her Lisa, as our dogs are playing. This lady and her child walk near, probably like 10 or so, and Lisa's dog gets excited and goes up to say hello. The kid immediately freaks out, and Lisa calls her dog off immediately. She starts asking us if dogs are even allowed over here, and we try to explain how the venue works. She either doesn't understand or isn't listening and threatens to call the police on us. We tell her there is a playground across the street for her kid, and pointed out the dog poop bath stations all around us, but she wasn't having any of it. She then proceeds to pick up a big stick and say to her kid, "Don't worry, if that dog comes back near us, I'll beat it with a stick," and proceeds to walk away. I was absolutely fuming and so was Lisa. It's ridiculous how entitled people can be, and then to threaten violence on top of it? Crazy. I am confused. This lady asked if they were accepted for dogs in this park, and OP tries to tell them that they are on weekdays. And she's like, nah, not gonna listen. Let me just threaten this person's dog real quick. Our final post for today comes from Jamie Panda Hugs. I live in an emotionally manipulative and abusive household that tries to hide behind their Christian values. I'm not trying to deny your request for additional information, but it's kind of textbook at this point. I was condemned for coming out as bi. I wasn't allowed to read or watch things they deemed satanic. They've taken away my possessions, even as an adult, that they deem wrong. I'm constantly ambushed about why I don't believe in Jesus. The list just goes on, you know? This was in response to her mom asking, "Are you always going to bring up whenever I wasn't a good mother?" Well, seeing as how each and every time it mentally scarred me as a child, I'm so very sorry I can't just forget the manipulation I was subjected to. You'd think since both of her kids are itching for the chance we get to move out, maybe, just maybe the problem is with the parent. But no, it's, "Why do you act like living here is so bad?" And
We do everything for you, and you're so ungrateful.
Sorry that I read that a bit out of order, but I had to get the point across. Well, alright, my Dashing Dudes and Darling Dames, that is going to do it for today's episode of r/Entitled Parents. I hope you liked the infuriating entitlement, and if you did, I'm going to link it in the description below. And if you liked the video, subscribe, share, drop a like, and a comment down below what you'd like to see me read next. But with that being said, I will see you in the next video.